Why did it have to be gradual? You have this article, it's making these serious allegations of tender fraud and other serious allegations. Why did it have to be gradual? Why did you not terminate communication there and there?
I don't have a response to that because...
I'm sorry?
I do not have a response to what the commissioner is asking me, why did I not cut it there and there? But
you don't, may I come in please? You don't have a response, General, because this is untrue. At that stage, you did not intend terminating communication. That's why you have no response to my question. It's simply not true.
I don't agree with the statement, but for me, that is what I was doing, Commissioners.
So from 5 March all the way up to the 13th of May, you are still gradual. So it seems to me that had Mr. Matlala not been arrested, you would still be continuing with your communication with him,
No.
which buttresses or which supports my point that it's untrue that you ever intended to cut ties with him or to stop communication with him.
Commissioner, there was an intention.
But when and how does that manifest? When and how does that intended termination manifest?
Commissioner, when we deal with issues of terminating relationship, we take them differently. I hear what the Commissioner is saying, but there was an intention.
You are a police official. You are a member of the Hawks. You find out that your friend, your younger brother, in quotation marks, is allegedly involved in criminality. This is something that concerns you and concerns you to the extent that you decide to cut off ties. You are a police officer. This is not just a relationship between ordinary individuals. Why did you not terminate communication or ties there and then?
I've already responded to that, Commissioners.
Which is that you cannot respond to my question.
I've already responded in that I decided to terminate, to gradually move away from him.
No. That's not answering the question, because my question exactly goes to that gradual termination. So I'm saying you're a police officer, because you say people respond differently, and you may terminate communication differently depending on who you are. But my point is, you are a police officer. You head Hawks, which is a specialized unit within the police, and which deals with serious crimes. You become aware that a person that you consider to be your brother, your younger brother, you are uputi, the bigger brother. So now you become aware that he is involved in criminality. And on the 5th of March, you decide that you want to cut communication with him. But you do this gradually. You are not an ordinary person. You actually had Hawks in KZN. Why did you not terminate communication immediately?
That idea never crossed my mind, Commissioner.
Now, let's just look at the content of these communications, which are, 3 months later? You seem to be communicating with a friend in a very amicable manner. No indication at all that you are irritated with him. No indication at all that this is somebody that you want to terminate communication with. You say, this is so sad, and it leaves one with, I think you wanted to say, no choice, the no is missing, but to seek legal advice on this issue with a view to challenge this decision. No sign of you in ever having intended to terminate communication at all. It's actually friendly. It's actually empathetic. How can that be if way back in March, 5 March, you already wanted to terminate communication? That just does not make sense altogether, General.
I've taken note of that, Commissioner.
I'm sorry?
I've taken note of the Commissioner's comment.
What's your report? What's your response? What's your comment?
I believe I have already responded, Commissioner.
You have not. I'm raising a different question now. I'm raising a question about you being empathetic, where you are suggesting that way back in March you wanted to terminate communication. This is a different point altogether. You have not responded to it. Can you please respond?
The empathetic part of it,
The entire context. You are talking as if you continue to relate with him in the same manner you have told us you related with him. Since the marriage, your marriage, in 2018-2019, having taken a liking to him, your words, you then communicated regularly as friends, and going to the extent of saying you basically considered each other to be brothers. Now you decide to terminate communication in March. What I'm saying is, but look, in May, you are communicating with him in a manner that shows that you are quite empathetic to the difficulties he finds himself in. And I say, to say that way back in March you had intended to terminate communication simply does not make sense. That's a different question to the earlier one, which was, why did you not terminate communication immediately? That's a different question, General. Please respond.
Maybe
before you respond, General, let me just add something else to the chairperson's question that you should take into account. Is in that page 60 WhatsApp where you say, take them on, brother, in fact, you are encouraging him. Contrary to what you're saying to us. In fact, a day or two before he's arrested, you say you encourage him to take your employer on regarding the termination of the contract, which, as the chair says, doesn't seem to suggest to present someone who has no interest anymore in Mr. Matlala's affairs and business.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Do you see that these are different questions? It's no longer my question about terminating immediately. Do you get that? So
I get it,
I just want to disabuse your mind of this idea that I'm asking you the same question. So can you now respond to my question, taking into account the additional point that my colleague has?
I have taken note of the analysis of the Commissioner, and I see that, yes, there is an error on my side that I've done in order to encourage him.
I just repeat that. I'm not sure I understand it.
I've taken note about the analysis of these messages by the Commissioner, and then I consider that it is an error on my side continuing to do this.
I want to suggest to you, General, that you are not able to respond to both these questions because what you are telling us is untrue. That is the real reason.
Commissioners, I believe I said I want to come and tell the truth, nothing else the truth. But that is the response I'm giving, Commissioners, in terms of the truth of my recollection. I've already said it might be an error of my side continuing to send him this type of messages. I think that is where I will stand with my response to the questions, Commissioners.
Now, General, from the 6th of March, that is the very day after you tell us, that is the day from which you intended to cut off communication. I'm looking at file 1 of 3, the exhibits file.
File?
The one that says 1 of 3, the exhibits file.
Okay, I got it, Commissioner.
It should be the same. It's the same one, actually.
Yes,
it's the same one we're on. Yes. If you look at page 28, all the way, and that's March. That's the 6th of March. And you have told us that from the 5th you are now wary of him or his communications, and you have decided to terminate communication on the 5th of March. So the page I'm referring you to, on page 28, there's communication there, still between you and Mr. Matlala, and that's the 6th of March. I will not go through the texts that are there one by one, but from that page, from page 28 all the way to page 60, communication between the two of you continues unabated. And at times, you are the one that initiates the communication. And this, in circumstances where you say that on the 5th of March, you had decided to terminate communication. So all the way up to page 60, and page 60 being in May, from 5 March, in May, continue over many pages, 28 to 60, at times you being the initiator of the communications. Do you seriously want us to believe you that you ever wanted to terminate communication with Mr. Matlala?
The relationship, commissioners, and what is happening, the way I took it, I understood what the commissioner said about my position and where am I working, but it is the relationship, not necessarily the communication per se. Hence, I'm saying I was trying to move away from him in order to terminate the relationship. But I see that it took me...
So I just, let me understand this. I'm sorry, I know you asked for protection earlier, but I just want to understand this. So you want to terminate their relationship, but having terminated the relationship, you want to continue communicating with him. So communication without a relationship. In the context of people who have otherwise been having a relationship of brother and brother. Does that make sense?
Not really that, commissioners. Maybe it took me too long to cut it off, but gradually, in my mind, in my soul, I wanted to, but I took it gradually. So I see that the period, it is indeed a point of concern. And then I do understand what the commissioner is saying.
So,
and I see, hence I'm saying it took me too long.
So had he not been arrested, it could well have continued to the present day.
No, I don't think so, Commissioner.
Where would it have ended? Where would it have ended? The page 28 to 60 that I'm referring you to is continuing unabated, and yet in March already you say you are wary of him and you want to terminate whatever it is you wanted to terminate. When would it have ended had he not been arrested at the point at which he was?
It was going to be ended, Commissioner.
When?
It's a pity.
The question is when, General, when?